Happy Friday. My name is Mr. Colin Egglesfield and would love for you guys to join me and my special guest who I'm going to be having a conversation with here on Conversations with Colin. So I'm going to be inviting on here one of my coaches. So I'm sure all of you are aware that professional athletes, professional actors have coaches that support them, that encourage them, that hold them accountable for everything that they are up to in life. And if you are up to something exciting and amazing in life, it is important to have someone support you along the way. If you are an artist or an actor or a performer or a creative type, an influencer, a leader, a CEO, it is important that you are able to connect with the people that you talk to. It is important that your communication lands effectively on your audience, right? So one of the things that I struggled with growing up was my fear of getting up and speaking in front of people. I was terrified of getting up in front of people. Who else is terrified of speaking in front of people? Like, I would have never been able to do this. Like, when I was younger, I was just way too afraid. I would get too sweaty and I would get all nervous and just like clam up, and my breath would start like getting really short and it was hard to breathe. And getting up in front of people and speaking, this was not natural to me at all. Michelle says that she is. Sharon says she is. Yes. Public speaking, it can be so frustrating because a lot of us have a lot of amazing things that we want to say and things that we want to get out there into the world and things that we know would make a difference in people's lives. But for whatever reason, some of us have this high sensitive feeling about what it's like to be in front of people. And it can have an effect on us where it actually shuts our body physically down. So through my journey of being a professional actor, because I love acting and I love telling stories, I've worked with some amazing coaches. Amy says used to terrify me. She still gets excited. I've worked with some amazing coaches that have helped me get over my fear of public speaking. I've worked with some amazing coaches that have helped me become a better actor. And much like professional athletes use professional coaches to help them accomplish what they want to, if there's something in your life that you are wanting to accomplish, it is so important that you find a good coach or someone who is going to help support you along that way. So one of these people in my life is Kathy Spas. And I have had Kathy on Coffee with Colin, and I'm bringing Coffee with Colin back in a couple of weeks. But for now, I wanted to bring Kathy back on here because I work with Kathy pretty much every week. And she's someone who holds me accountable for my goals and my dreams. She helps me work through some limiting mindset beliefs, because we all have that little voice in our head that pops up and tells us that we're not good enough, that we can't do it, that who do we think we are. And I'm here to support everyone out there who's wanting to do great things. Elisa, what's up? Good to see you. Sending you much love. Thank you for all of your support and everything that you do. Joyce, how you doing? Good to see you as well. Nadine, what's up? Good to see you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Miss Kathy Spas on here about being your best self and communicating and creating with total freedom. And here she is. What's up, Kathy?
I thought now it's gone again. I'm losing him again, like on Facebook, but there we are.
There we are. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hi, thank you for having me tonight. I mean, it's evening here.
Yeah.
You're still enjoying your day.
You're in Belgium, right?
Yeah.
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 So tell us, what's Belgium like? Is it like the States?
Well, no. People are more reserved in Belgium. We have a lot better chocolate in Belgium. We have the best French fries in Belgium, because in France, they don't know that you have to put mayonnaise with your fries.
Right, of course. Not ketchup.
Yeah, and the weather sucks. So that's Belgium, but we have beautiful nature, we have beautiful culture, and the people are amazing here. So.
Well, you're amazing and you're beautiful, and you've been so supportive and helpful to me along my artist and creative journey. And I think with our work, working together, we've been working together for what, about 6 months now, I would say?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that, probably.
Yeah. And so the reason why I wanted to bring you back on here, and for those of you who have seen Kathy before, Kathy's been on Coffee with Colin, and she's actually spoken at my Inspire Summit that we did back in May. And for those of you who don't know Kathy, Kathy is an artist coach. And Kathy, why don't you tell us a little bit about what the term artist coach really means?
Well, the thing is that a lot of artists are highly sensitive people and they don't even know it themselves. And when I discovered being a highly sensitive person, it made like all the pieces of the puzzle fall together into place. It's interesting, it explains a lot, but it doesn't solve anything. So I did have to go to work with myself after that. But it is so that a lot of creatives, a lot of artists also have that very activated right hemisphere of the brain, which is also leading them to be the best at what they do. Like you, when you are in a movie, you are so good at what you do because you can really tap into that empathy and that emotion of your character. And that's what makes you shine and be better than a lot of other actors. And it also has the downside that we can overthink things because our brain is processing information on a deeper level. And when you're living a life in the spotlight and everything you say, do, think, hear, or smell is being put under a magnifying glass, then that can work very limiting, and it can really be destructive for your self-image, for your confidence, make people doubt themselves, make people want to escape reality. So many pitfalls, but also such a beautiful gift. So it's not always easy to find a good balance there, but that is actually why I love doing what I do, because it's not just learning how to cope with the struggles and the challenges that we encounter being highly sensitive or empathic or an artist. It is also finding those talents and making them come out more and making you shine as a person. And that is actually what I think is the coolest part about my job.
Yeah, and you've been helping me shine. I just finished my latest film a few weeks ago, and it was so great to be back on set. And as I believe Sparkly B says, and she's hit it right on the head here. She says a lot of artists are sensitive because they are neurodivergent. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it's very common, and a lot of ND people overthink and have heightened sensitivities. And that describes me to a T. So growing up, I always thought I was, there was maybe something wrong with me because I always would feel things deeply, and I just, I was self-aware, and I could just, I would just get emotional about things, and I was like, is there something like wrong with me? But what it helped me do was it helped me be able to be very creative. It helped me. I love to draw, I love to create, I love to build things, but sometimes when I was in environments, especially in school, where there was a lot of stimulus and a lot of information coming at my way, loud noises, it would just kind of almost like short circuit my brain. And until I started working with you, you've helped me process and put into place my specific plan that is specific to me and where I want to go with my acting and everything else that I have going on in my life. And I would credit you with being a big reason why I got my latest movie, because 6 months ago, I wasn't nearly as tapped into the acting world as I wanted to be, because life happens. And we just we have these dreams and these goals, but sometimes we just kind of push them off into the distance and we just focus on what we need to do. And you helped me get very present again to my goal of being back on set. And so that's why I wanted to bring you on here to thank you in person, and for you to be able to share what it is that you do, so that if anyone else out there is interested in speaking with Kathy, that you can do so by obviously reaching out to her on Instagram. And if anyone has any questions, Kathy's here at your disposal to answer any questions about what it is that you're dealing with. And obviously, if you'd like to have a conversation with Kathy, if you want to tell us what it is that you would offer if someone were to reach out to you.
Well, the thing is that I'm going to deliver my second baby in 5 weeks from now.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, thanks. You knew that, but but the thing is, so these coming 4 weeks, I'm still all in, and I've thought of a plan, like how can I serve as many people as possible in this short amount of time, because I'm very limited with my schedule and I work only with a handful of clients. So I thought, you know what, let's work on something that is shorter so that we can give people that first framework and the foundation so that they can start from there. And it's a little bit like you just said, like bringing everything in perspective, getting clear on your goals, getting clear on what is in the way of those goals, and then the plan to move forward and, you know, what it's going to take to get there. So I've worked out this 2-part half-day workshop. So it's 2 half days that will be working together. And I have 3 spots because, like I said, the calendar is limited, and it is going to happen within these 4 weeks, because after that, I'm on a little break. So if that sounds like you and you feel like you want to get crystal clear on those goals and really start taking action and feel more inner peace and balance to get started with this, then I would definitely say reach out and we'll have a chat just to see if this is for you and if we are a good match to work together, because we would be spending 2 half days together, and that needs to be fun as well, because I like to have cool clients to work with and people that are motivated and committed and that I can have fun with as well. So there needs to be like this double connection. So if you feel like that's you, then we'll have a chat and we'll make that work. So that is what is going on now. And then most of the times, like you, we work for at least 6 months together, because that's where you get to dive into that work and really make those goals happen and start going on a deeper level and clearing the blockages and shift the mindset and start shining the way that you have been shining these past few months, because it's been really cool to see you transform.
Oh, it's been awesome to be back on set. I absolutely love it. E. Bender is asking, what ages do you work with?
What ages?
Yep.
Well, it's not kids, because I don't speak child language. I like to use words like fuck or shit or I don't care. I like to speak in adult language, but it's not, to me, the age is really not important. Most of my clients have been between 25 and 24 years old, but I've had people of 60 years old. I've had people of 19, 17 years old that can work, but children is not my cup of tea. I have a colleague who is amazing at that, and I love to send people her way, because it is a special quality to be able to talk on a child level.
Yeah. Can you give us a couple of examples specifically of maybe a couple of people that you worked with besides me and what you've been able to help them do?
Yeah, for example, here in Belgium, I've worked with a Miss Belgium who was actually feeling very insecure, and she wanted to start her own coaching business. But she was so insecure, and I mean, she's such a beautiful person inside and out. Yet, because of living that life in the spotlight, she felt very restricted and was limiting herself and holding herself back. So we worked on that confidence and on, I mean, stepping into her greatness, because that is what it takes if you want to do anything in life. life is asking you to step into your greatness and to connect with that diamond that is there inside so that you can truly shine. But that often takes a process of setting loving boundaries, of creating your goals very, very crystal clear so that you know exactly where you're moving, and then taking the action steps and not letting yourself being pulled back from that. Because that is what happens. Sometimes people don't know at all what they want in life, but sometimes they have that vision clear, but then they're being pulled back from it all the time because, like you said, life happens, or they get anxiety, or they doubt themselves. And it is really owning your own light and working on that confidence and balance, inner peace, and the personal growth so that you can fully own your own life. Because we are very often too much concerned with what other people think and what they would say. That can really.
Is Miss Belgium, is she now coaching clients? Is she?
Yeah, she is.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think? Yeah. We reach our goals.
Yeah. Well, that's what I always love to hear what people are doing after working with you. And is there anyone else that you can mention?
Yeah, for example, there was also I worked with a lady who was very high on European level in a European organization, and she was really struggling with her self-image, but also with her team. She always felt like she had to do everything herself, and like she couldn't rely on people because it wasn't aligned. And then after working together, now she has this, first of all, she collected people around her who really resonate with her, and the people from her team before that stayed on, they also shifted their energy because, they grow along with you. Mm-hmm. You take people on that ride with you. You don't have to do anything for that. You just have to step up your game. And we've worked on that as well. And the moment that you stepped into that energy, I saw your whole team. I mean, they were just like something changed, and you got that gig, and that was so cool. And with her, it was the same. The team just shifted with her when she changed her energy. So now she's a lot more relaxed in her job, and she can delegate easier, and she feels more confident when she has to do these big meetings with politicians on European level. And she's being heard more. Because before, she said, I felt like I have to fight or I have to yell for attention and I'm not being taken seriously. And now she says, because we saw each other like 2 weeks ago or something, we had dinner. And now she said, like, it's amazing that just being present and people are asking me. But that is the inner shift that you made, and then people just resonate to that. And that is what is so cool about this work, this inner work, because it's so easy. You have to do it, you have to be aware, you have to constantly train yourself. It's like learning a new sport. Mm-hmm. But we do that together. We're on this journey that we're on together. And then by doing that, you just grow along the way, and it gets more fun, and it gets lighter, and it gets easier. So this is the most fun work.
And another question by Nadine was, what languages do you serve people in? How many different languages do you speak?
Well, I would say to really serve people on this level, I would say Dutch, Flemish, English, and French. Okay. I can speak a little bit Spanish, and my German is with a lot of hair on it, but I wouldn't coach someone in that language because that would be a little bit rough. Yeah.
And Amy is asking, what advice would you give someone when they do become overstimulated in social situations?
Yeah, for example, when you go to a network event, that is something that very often occurs with entrepreneurs or high-level CEOs I work with. And then, You know, it can really be very tiring. But it's also that a lot of HSP are more introverted. And I can be an outgoing person, but when I am stepping into a room with a lot of people that I don't know,
Yeah.
the first thing I would like to do is just, you know, seat myself in the back, just look. In Belgium, we say, look the cat out of the tree, you know, just sit there and look a little bit around and let everyone do their thing. But I've learned to, first of all, just own the energy of, you know what? I am a network beast. I love doing this. I love engaging in these conversations. And I'm just going to have fun with these people. So I show up with a different attitude. That is something that you can learn, you know, that is very easy to do, but it takes a little bit of time to train it as well. But you can just step into a certain energy, and that makes things a lot easier and a lot more fun as well. Makes it less scary, less exhausting for me, and I get more energy out of it and better contacts, you know, because you engage in a completely different way with people. But then the second part is your brain is still overstimulated because we have to process all that information on a deeper level. So it's still tiresome. So things that I do is before I go in, do a little breathing exercise to make sure that my brain is in balance, that I'm already, you know, resilient when I go in. And it can be short, you know, those things can be short. When I take the stairs, for example, to go up, I do that very mindfully. I connect my feet with the ground so that I'm in my body and not in my mind, so that my brain gets a little bit of recharging time.
Yeah.
Those little things. When I go to the toilet in between, I will take that moment in to just breathe, to just center. So again, that brain gets a little bit of quiet time. It doesn't need to take long. When I wash my hands, I can just wash the stress off, and it doesn't, you know, it's just those small things can really give your brain some peace of mind, some quiet, some time to recharge, so that you can go on again a little bit longer. Very often when people have a very busy job and they come home to their children, I would also say, you know, if you can't recharge on the ride home because it's, for example, a very busy road, then just sit still in your car for 2 minutes before you enter the house and do a little breathing exercise, or put some music on that energizes you. Those little things make so much difference, because that is a bucket that's almost full and ready to run over, or a bucket that has some space again to have, you know, the noise of the kids or the partner who's whining, or the stress from everything you have to do at home. And that's just the big difference from very small things.
One thing that I read that I found very interesting as we talk about the topic of the small little things that can make the biggest difference is a lot of the times if we are sitting and focusing on our computers so often, and we're looking at our cell phones, when we are focusing on things that are in close vicinity to us, it sends a signal to your brain that you have to pay attention, you have to focus, and it requires a lot of mental energy. And they say if you want to give yourself a break, if you want to give yourself a little bit of a mental break, to go outside and fix your focus on something way off in the distance. Because when you look off at something in the distance, physiologically, it calms your body down, because when you are looking at things close by, it's almost as if like your brain is looking for the danger. And when you are focused on something that is way off in the distance, it sends the signal to your body that you're safe. So it's a great quick way to just induce a little bit of relaxation in your body. So if you've been sitting and looking at your phone or your computer for too long, go outside, sit down, go look off into the horizon, or at a building or a tree or whatever it is. Go out onto, like if you're in an office building, go to the window and just look out the window and look as far as you can for a few minutes, and that will help just get you back into your body, out of your mind, because that's where the anxiety happens. It happens, like you said, in your mind. And when we meet every week, we do our writing exercises, and you give me these questions that are very thought-provoking, and they tap into the psychology of how I think and what I'm doing and what is my mindset about stuff. And it's the small little fixes that where you help me create an empowering perspective, like you said, where you keep me focused on showing up as an empowered version of myself. And that's what I think has made the biggest difference.
Yeah, yeah, because it is about doing the work, and it is about making you think in a different way and applying the tools that I provide, but which you have both been doing. And it's like my mom always said, you know, in life you have to do things that you're good at, and I'm really good at putting people to work. So I found, you know, when I started this 5 years ago, I finally found something where I can use my little whip, but with very much love, you know? And that is why this has been such a successful combination, because you can have a cuddle coach, and that is fun, and I love to cuddle. But sometimes someone just really needs a loving kick under the ass. And we all go through that at some certain points of our lives, but it is that confrontation in a loving way, in a safe environment, and you know, you reflecting on your own things and really working towards that and doing the work, what is going to make a difference, because otherwise we just keep on doing what we did and we get what we got, which is not going to help anyone. So sometimes it's also confrontational for me when I have, you know, sometimes just to speak up and be very, very honest with someone. And that is what actually is helping my clients the most, when I'm super honest and when I'm putting them to work. And it's the same for myself. You know, the times when things aren't working out for me, I'm not being 100% honest with myself. And then I just need to pull myself back together, pick up that ball, like we said, and just move back forward again. Yeah. And I like the way that you said that thing about looking into the
horizon.
Horizon. Yep. When I did live events, that was at the beginning very exhausting for me. I loved it. It gave me a lot of energy. I really liked it. But when it was finished, I was like a wreck. But then I discovered, you know, it was on the second floor of a building. And then at lunchtime, I would put the windows open and I would just like for 10 seconds, really breathe the outside air and let it fill me with energy again. And I don't know if you know the Care Bears. In my days, that was like the cartoon to watch. Yeah. So Care Bears Shine, you know, I just let it fill me up like that. And I love that energy because it is everywhere. It's already there. And it's so easy to connect with that.
Yep. Yep. It takes all these little tools and insights and being reminded of them, because a lot of the times we've heard a lot of this stuff before, but again, working with you on a weekly basis has helped me keep this top of mind, keep it present, keep it focused. And Elisa was asking, what advice would you give someone who gets nervous and keeping your hands still when talking to others in a group?
First of all, I would ask myself the question, why do you think you have to put your hands still? I love to use my hands when I'm in conversation, but sit on your hands if you think you have to. But if we would be in a coaching conversation, it would first of all be like, why do you tell yourself the story that your hands have to be still? And what that judgment that you have on yourself, that we would be working on to release that judgment so that you can start, first of all, with more space when you go into that conversation or that meeting where you have to speak. And then we would be working on the confidence and building that up. And that's just the way this work creates amazing results, because it's not this golden pill that you take before you go into a meeting. It is building the foundation, and that foundation will always be there and you will always have that with you. So work on your confidence, do breathing exercises. I mean, before you go in, visualize. Yeah, and visualize the way you want to see that meeting go before you go in, and how you want to feel and who you want to be. But look, my hands, maybe don't you see it, but I use them all the time. I don't care. For me, that feels natural. I love to use them. I think that somewhere far, far away, there must be something Italian inside of me, because they're like that. And that's okay, you know. It's very important that you communicate in a way that aligns with you. Don't force anything, because that is just not going to make you happier, nor going to make you feel more confident.
Good advice. Good advice. Well, if anyone has any other questions, feel free to reach out and talk to Kathy. Again, she's offering this mini course coming up here in the next few weeks. And then, and you're only available for the next 4 weeks, because then you're having your baby, you're taking a break. And so this is your opportunity to get in touch with Kathy and work with her in this next 4 weeks. And I've been working with you for the past 6 months. Absolutely has been a game changer, and I can't thank you enough, Kathy. And hopefully everyone out there who's here and listening, I would highly encourage you to reach out to Kathy to see if there's an opportunity for you guys to work together.
Thank you so much. This was a lovely conversation again, and happy to give those tips, this advice, and even happier if we can actually start doing the inner work together and help you get on the road and start finding that inner diamond, so you can shine the way Colin and I are shining, because we are.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Awesome. All right, Kathy, thank you for being here. And thank you everyone else for being here. And we'll see you guys all very soon. All right. Take care, Kathy.
Bye.
Bye.